Boom, 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 boom. Garage inspection. A Crossout video by Dangerously Incompetent. This video is taking a closer look at my build here. Boom, 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 boom. And mentioning the points I didn't get to fit in a previous video. And we're going to start with stop hurting yourself. The Avalanche does a lot of damage with its explosion, and that explosion has quite a large radius. So if you shoot something point blank, you're going to do a serious amount of damage to yourself. 454 points of damage. You do that 4 times and your Avalanche is going to fall off. So don't shoot point blank unless you're absolutely desperate. And it gets worse because the Avalanche got a nerf after a while because people complained about the Avalanche drivers just driving straight into the people and shooting, because during the reload damage resistance is increased by 30%. So shot, it goes half a meter and then it goes boom, you're reloading, 30% less damage, thank you. So the nerf was the player's armoured car receives 100% more damage from the explosion of its own projectiles. Yeah, it really hurts firing point blank, so don't do it unless, as I said, you're absolutely desperate. The next point to make is watch where you're going. Now when I'm driving around, I'm usually taking this sort of view so I can see what's ahead of me and I can see what's on the ground. If I think there's mines or cap cans or turrets I'm going to need to dodge, I might be even further. But that's no good for shooting the Avalanche. To shoot the Avalanche, you've got to push the muzzle up. You've got to be looking like this, depending on how far away your enemy is. See, that's got the muzzle up, but if I'm driving around like normal, that's what the muzzle is doing, which means we're back to hurting ourselves, because if I snap fire, I was going up a bump, I was alright, but if I was going in a dip or just normally, boom, you're back to hurting yourself because the projectile's really slow, it hits the ground in front of you and the radius of damage is big, boom, ouchies. And I haven't come up with a solution for this other than driving around with the muzzle locked, which is Control Z, which is, unless you're going to redefine the keys, is a bit impractical. So I haven't really got a solution for that, but it's something to watch out for. So generally I'm driving around, I pick my target and then I move down to get the elevation I need to get the shot to go as far as I need it to go. If you think that's the last of the negative points about the Avalanche, you'd be wrong, because there's more. It takes 12 points of energy to power the Avalanche. That's an awful lot. You can't fit more than one of these on a build because it takes too much energy. Now the Deadman cabin gives me 12 energy, so I've put in a charge generator to give me the power to run my Flywheel. So I got extra reload speed, and then the Colossus engine, which you can just see in there, because it needed it for the mass limit, and you really do need some cabin power to push that Avalanche around because it weighs 3.5 metric tons. Ouchies. And the really bad thing about this is if you lose the generator, which you do now and again, in fact that's the way this build gets wrecked the most. I get shot in the back and the generator goes. And now with only 12 energy and 14 energy on demand, guess who gets first dibs on the energy? That's right, it's not the Avalanche. Equipment gets the first dibs. So you can see the Flywheel recharge booster is powered, so I'm reloading faster, and my Colossus engine is still powered, so I can still drive around with reasonable alacrity, but my gun is no longer powered. My one gun, my only gun, is not powered. I'd rather have the Avalanche powered than the Flywheel. There's no point reloading quickly if you can't shoot, is there? So that's quite frustrating. And I tried putting the Avalanche on first, then putting the Avalanche on last. That doesn't make any difference. Equipment trumps weapons, and then it's the order you put it onto the build. So that wasn't any help at all, which is quite annoying and painful. because I can lose the rear half of my vehicle and I can still drive around, and if only the Avalanche got first dibs, I could still shoot. So I'm driving around looking like I can do something, and I can't. Well, the only thing he can do is, ram into someone and try and self-destruct on them. But wait, there's another negative point about the Avalanche. Ammo count. 10 pieces. You get 10 shots and that's your lot. Now that's sort of enough for your average battle that lasts 2.5 minutes. But what happens if the battle goes on longer than that? And you're the last man standing, and you're carrying the team to victory. All you have to do is finish off like 3 crippled enemies and you're gonna win. And you can't because you've run out of ammunition. That would be extremely frustrating, which is why I carry the expanded ammo pack, except no substitutes. Now you old salts know exactly what I'm going to say next, and that is never ever ever ever, and this is for you newbies, ever 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 you use the ammo pack, the rare ammo pack, the blue one. It is so fragile and so explodey. Do not use it. If you love using cannons, the next thing you want to buy, even before the Harpy cabin, is the expanded ammo pack. You will stop exploding so easily from your enemy shots. So I've been saying a lot of negative things, and they've all been about the Avalanche, because the Avalanche has only got one thing going for it. It's huge explosions and it's got 2 good things going for it. Big explosions, big damage, and lots of durability. 3 things the Avalanche has got going for it. Big explosions, big damage, and big durability. But now I can say something positive about something else. I'm going to say something positive about these buggy bumpers. Now I've put the buggy bumpers on to protect the wheels a bit, because the back end doesn't stick out far enough. But it doesn't completely cover the wheels. Now it would if I could fit it sideways, but it doesn't have sticky bits on the side, so you can't do that. So I mounted them this way as a compromise. But mounted sideways, they are remarkably good at lifting people up. Now you wouldn't think it, given that profile. Like, so you just hit that and stop, wouldn't you? But no, things, if they clip that, not if they hit here, but if they just clip this, up and over they roll. It's really quite remarkable. So I'm going to try and remember to use buggy bumpers sideways on future builds. Now a couple of words about stickers. Now the sharp-eyed amongst you might have noticed I use 4 boom and you win stickers. Get it? Boom, 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 boom. Name of the build. Haha. Thank you very much. I'll be here all weekend. Try the Avalanche. But there's a bit of a problem with stickers, and the even sharper-eyed amongst you might notice that I haven't actually painted this rear part, the rump, with the lava paint, which is on the rest of the bar. I do like the lava paint. I do like that lovely glowingness. It's a shame we don't have more night fights to play with it. It doesn't look fantastic. But anyway, there's a problem with it. And the problem is, if I can show you, if I take some lava and paint the rump with it, you can see the lava effect, the glowy effect, goes over the stickers. The black background goes under the stickers, but the glowy goes over, which spoils the stickers somewhat. So, oops, wrong one. So I couldn't paint the back with the lava, so instead I painted it with Raiju stickers. Because they do, if you put them on first, they go underneath the black circle, which makes the boom and your win stick out. So that's how I got around that annoying feature of the lava paint. One last detail before we wrap things up. Slava Ukraini. Remember, lots of Russians play this game, not just on the Russian server, on the EU servers as well. And the Russians don't have free press like we do. All they get is propaganda. So I feel it's a good idea to let average Joe Russian who plays this game know what the rest of the world thinks of their special military operation. Enough the vehicle as it is. How could it be improved? Well, number one improvement, I think, would be to take the Hermit wheels off and put Omni wheels on. because as things stand, if I want to get away after I've shot, I've got to turn and present my weaker side and rear for the enemy to shoot before I get into cover. Whereas if I had omnivores, I could go strafe sideways into cover and keep that lovely lump of durability that's called the Avalanche, shielding the rest of my build, especially since I'm reloading and it gets 30% damage resistance. That would be helpful. That's the number one thing I'd change. Another thing I'd change is I'd put bumpers sticking out, like the King of Birds. King of Birds? Yeah. King of Birds there. If I put these on the front as a standoff, so when I drive into someone and end up point blanking, they're actually not quite point blank. There's that much distance, more distance between me and them, which means less damage, self-harm when I shoot them point blank. So that could be something else that could work. And the other thing, third thing I thought of was maybe take off the flywheel, which would increase the reload time, but replace it with the chameleon, because it takes an awful long time to line up my shots. You know, you've got to drive, point towards them, point your vehicle towards them, and then the elevation and the traverse is really slow on the muzzle, so it takes a long time to line up your shot, and being invisible while you're doing it might help somewhat. That's it for this video. If you want to try the build out, I've put it in the exhibition. DangerouslyIncom. Boom, 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 boom. No spaces. And that's going to be the last video I make on this build, which means I can sell off my 4 Boom and You Win stickers, because I bought them at 140 and now they're 340. Ka-ching! It's taken me so long to make these videos. I'm in profit. Huzzah! See you around.